Today's project is going to be trying to fabricate a custom intake for this motor. This is the Evora 400 model. I believe the GT is probably going to be really similar. Hopefully we can make this work. But there aren't a lot of options for intakes for this car, and they're somewhat pricey, and I'm a low budget guy, so my plan is to try to source some parts and make an intake for this car, I guess on a more economic scale. And what we're going to replace all this with is what I've got down here. Everything I have here was purchased on Amazon. Maybe I'll put a quick screenshot of the receipt, kind of to show you exactly what I bought and how much it all costs. And so if this is successful in the end, we'll know what making a custom intake costs. Anyways, first thing we got here is the actual intake itself, which is a K&N Series 54, and this has essentially a cone filter but with its own housing. So the way it works is you have the cone, this fits like over it on top, it all bolts in together with like 4 bolts in the back, and then you can attach tubing to the top and to the bottom. So you have everything is in a line, so it's in line. All right, so aside from that, I have this Spectre MAF sensor housing, I guess you would call it. So that's going to connect the MAF sensor back into the intake. Besides that, I also have a silicone coupler with some clamps, and then this very flexible tube hose, so you can make bends. I think we're gonna have to make a couple 180s or something like that, but this extends supposedly, I think, to several feet long, and I believe it should be long enough. All right, so rear wheel is off, fender liner is down, and in here you'll see the 2 clips on this side. Very easy to access, a lot of room for activity. We're just going to slowly start removing all the parts. Wow. All right, so we've got 3 10mm in here. All right, so there is another clamp back here that I am going to try to undo. Yes, so undo this clamp. Hopefully that hose will come out. Okay, yeah. So undo this clamp right there. So remove this part from the box. And hopefully now we'll have a good clean path out. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I lost a bunch of fluid. Overflow tank. I'm gonna have to refill that at some point, obviously. All right, there it is. Airbox is out. Ooh, that was not fun. That was not fun. So we're getting ready to set up our new intake. Just kind of want to show everyone. This is what the inside of the inline intake looks like. Looks pretty cool. Reminds me of the turbines of a jet or an airplane or something like that. But that's... Next, I've got the MAF sensor mounted to this MAF sensor adapter from Spectre. That's again from Amazon. It came with many different adapter plates to fit different types of MAF sensors, and luckily there was one that seems to fit exactly right. It's kind of shaped like a triangle here. On the inside, the opening is circular, and there is a rubber circular gasket that goes between the plastic and the aluminum, as well as between the MAF sensor and the plastic adapter. So should be airtight, seems to fit well. Let's get it all coupled up together. So here it is, the finished product. I'm going to quickly go over it and kind of tell you what some of the setbacks and drawbacks were to this project. Overall, I mean, we'll see if it's a success or not, see how the car runs, and make any adjustments. But essentially, you've got your cone filter element in here, and here's where the initial I guess difference from OEM starts. The inlet is exactly the same as OEM at 4.5 inches. The outlet on this K&N filter, which on its website is rated for 500 horsepower plus, the outlet size is actually 3 inches in diameter. However, it is a lot more free-flowing and less restrictive than the OEM box, so hopefully that can compensate for the difference in outlet size, because the outlet on the OEM box is 3.5 inches. So it goes from 4.5 to 3 to 4, and then I had to make yet another adapter to go back down to 3.5, which is the same size as the throttle body. So there's a couple changes in diameter, and all within about 1/2 inch of each other of what OEM spec is. So we'll see if that actually makes any difference. There is an insert for this MAF sensor housing that you can essentially narrow it down to 3.5, which is the same as what OEM would be. I'm going to first run it just wide open, maximum airflow, see how the O2 sensor, the MAF sensor, and the fuel injectors compensate with each other. We're under the wheel well here, and from what I've seen from others is that the routing for this intake is going to start from this plastic snorkel. It's going to make like a 180 bend out this way, then a 180 bend back towards the throttle body intake housing there. So if you're ever curious, from the outside, the intake inlet on the driver's side goes through here, and it comes out from this plastic piece right here. Let me see if I can get a shot of what it looks like on the other side. Now let's see if we can get this snaked through here. All right, so far so good. Oh yeah, nice, snug. Right, here's a view from inside the fender well here. And there's the intake. It's the way it sits, and it snakes around like so. Hard to see probably. Goes into that inlet there, makes a little 180, back another 180, then out into the engine bay. Now the fender liner actually kind of holds this up a bit. Jesus Christ, we're finally finished. But essentially you just snake it through, tighten up all the bolts, clamps, and I have things routed underneath here. It makes an S-curve, and everything seems to fit. So let's do a test run.